Okay, so we've talked about Markiplier until now about him versus Honey, and what we've analyzed from this is the key to become a huge creator is actually caring about your fan base and what product you give them. Okay, and then we talked about Distractable, which is the favorite media that Markiplier is a part in, which he's not alone. He has two other friends in the same podcast, which somehow outshine him. One is purely talented, Wade, and the other one is purely hardworking. And also, he is funny by nature, but he knows how to tell a story and he knows how to make it extremely funny. Okay, so what we've analyzed from the second video is that with enough hard work, we could equal to talent because Bob's hilarity, his hilarious quotes and stories, equal to Wade's quips, all of a sudden a quip, which is hilarious, and then another. But Bob can equal to it, which is confusing because he has the most famous episode until now, which is Bob's Fridge. Until now, it's my favorite episode. Okay, and then we have in the third episode or the third video, I think we talked about Unus Honus and the creativity of giving something to the audience and then taking it all away. A channel that only lived for a year and then you took it away. A temporary idea to ensure that everyone knows that everything is temporary, not permanent. So we have three creative ideas, and then obviously the fourth creative idea, which is Heist was Markiplier, in Space was Markiplier, which Heist and Markiplier in the time of the video that I made, I didn't remember. And the fourth video was supposed to be about the movie, but until now the movie has not come out. So I think I will scrap the idea until he finally decides to upload it or publish it finally when it's done having its 100th cycle of working on it or making his runs on it. Okay, here are four different creative analysis of how Markiplier was successful in each field. So, from the start, let's start from, or you know what, let's make it the next video. In this video, we're gonna talk about another creative idea, which is to make himself one of the audience, not the presenter, which is Go My Favorite Sports Team. From my opinion, from what I've gathered, or not what I've gathered, from listening to it, it seems that Markiplier is trying to make himself one with the audience. He is listening to Tyler, which is the person with a degree who knows a lot about sports, which Markiplier said that the reason he started it was because of Tyler, to give Tyler a platform. So Markiplier is hilarious in this podcast, and Tyler is hilarious in this podcast, but it's to a certain degree an educational podcast for me because I don't know anything about sports. So they talk about sports, but they don't have a discussion, or they have a discussion, but Tyler is the one that says and educates us on sports and tells us this happens, this happens, this happens, this happens, and Markiplier is like a commentator on it. So here's another different idea. So in Distractables, there are three equals. One wins the host and then goes to host another, and then one loses, one wins, they tie, they both bully the one that didn't win, which is Markiplier. If you didn't hear the last episode about the one-man show, it was hilarious. But it's a completely different idea, which is to make Markiplier one with the audience. He is listening like us. He is learning like us from sports. That's what he said. He's trying to learn about sports because he doesn't know anything about it. So the fifth analysis or the fifth video is about how Markiplier, another different creative idea, which is to make himself one with the audience. He sometimes has something to say, but mostly not like Distractable. Indistractable, the three of them talked about anything that comes to mind. But in Go, my favorite sports team, they have a certain topic, and Tyler talks about it and tries to educate Markiplier on it. So it's a different, completely different idea. What we could analyze is that making yourself the audience is not a bad idea. Like, there are a lot of videos that are going very popular of people talking with not AI in general, but like Discord modded conversations of anime characters, talking to them. It's a conversation, but the person who is making the conversation or the person who's creating the content isn't the most entertaining part of the content. If he has hilarious edits, it's very funny. But the AI is the one that's more entertaining. So we could gather that making yourself one of the with the audience is another idea that Markiplier started. I've I think I have not seen until now two creators in one podcast. One is completely not silent but doesn't have a lot of input on the topic, and the other one is the one that's supposed to say everything about the topic. So it was a different field and it was a different idea. And for me, it's a very good podcast for me because I know I don't know anything about sports, like I said. And it would be very good to anyone who doesn't know anything about sports. So until now, from what we've gathered on Markiplier, which is the next episode the next video I think I will make about him in general, old Markiplier, and how he made it until now, or how I think he made it until now. But we have 5 analyses until now. He cares a lot about his audience more than anything, more than money. He whenever he was equal with two creators on the same podcast, he was outshined. They were more hilarious than him. And making a content or channel, working extremely hard on it, and then leaving it after a year, or not leaving it, actually permanently deleting it, no one can see it. Obviously, there are a lot of people who re-upload it, but he takes it down for the idea of this creative endeavor. And Markiplier in different medias or different TV shows that he's created, or not TV shows, shows on his YouTube, Heist with Markiplier and In Space with Markiplier, and now talking about Go My Favorite Sports Team, which is making himself one with the audience. So the next video will be about old Markiplier.